Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Fedora House, the place where we're going to discuss how to make our house better. In this episode we are talking about makeover, the makeover of our flat house, a place of living. Let's get right into it. White color versus warm color. What do I mean by that? Well, it's better to look at the examples, and the first two examples would be the left and right side. They are contrast to each other. The left side is all about the warm pool of lights, evening, nice cozy feeling. Right side is exactly the picture of a hospital, and if you have lots of light in a white contrast, that creates this feeling of being in a hospital room, in a working space, in a cubicle, or something like that. It doesn't feel comfortable, right? Let's take a look at another example. Two almost exactly looking bedrooms. The left side, way too light. Yeah, the lights are not switched on. We have a daylight in, but it feels like it's a little bit too bright, isn't it? Imagine if you have white bulbs there. How would you feel in the night? You wouldn't feel anything. You would be expecting the surgery. But if you look at the right side of the picture, it has a nice warm palette of it. So the white bulbs are not good for the bedroom. They're not good for basically anything except the places that you need to have 100% of a light to, I don't know, to analyze something like, once again, the office room or a surgery room. Maybe a bathroom would be the best place for the white bulbs. However, if you want to rest, I 100% suggest you to use the warm bulbs. Let's move to the second tip, how to make our interior better, and this is the importance of a rug. Well, just take a look at these beautiful rugs over here. They add this sophisticated feeling to the room. Yeah, that you can have a small one like a little pond, like a pebble looking carpet or rug, whatever you prefer to call it. You can have a massive one covering all the living space in even extras if you have such space, of course. I suggest you to have one. Of course, if you can afford it or if the place allows you. But it is important to have some texture in it so it feels life. It has life in it. It doesn't feel lifeless with no texture. Look at all this. They have some patterns. They work. They have lines. They have just like dripples on all over them, and so on and so on. But they feel like they're moving, not simple white carpet, which once again would feel like you just have nothing on the floor. The next tip would be quite unusual, yet the most useful in the interior makeover, and it's a rule of thirds and triangle. Well, let's take a look at the first examples. Please do look at the left side, and yes, it is a kitchen. We'll base our understanding of rule of thirds from here. I want you to look at the stove in the middle of the room, and from the stove, put your attention to the sink, and from the sink to the fridge. It creates triangle. Because it's a working space though, so basically the triangle is like a working effective, the most effective and efficient working space, where you move the fastest and everything is within the range of a triangle. We can apply the same principle in the design of a shelf. Let's take a look at the right side. We can build up the following triangles from the pot with the flower to another pot and to the clay bowl which is standing on a books. We can also make a triangle with the books, laying books, standing books, and then the second from the bottom shelf, basically tilted books on the left side, or the one laying down under the pot with a plant. We can create unlimited number of, well, of course limited to some extent, but it's up to your creativity. The limitation is all about your creativity with these triangles. Yet triangle creates the sophisticated look and balanced look for your eye. That's creating the perfect design. Another example would be on the following shelves. Can you find some triangles here? Light can also count as a triangle effect. We have a candle, we have two sources of light on the left side, we have one light and few candles, if we can call them thus, on the first shelf on the top. Plants creating a perfect triangle, perfect visible triangle, books and other interior design materials such as vases and pots and so on and so on. So please do follow these tips. They will basically boost your look of anything that you're trying to make over of. I'll give you an extra tip. Look at these two pictures. What do you see there? Well, of course, on the left side, my opinion, it's a library. Despite all this beautiful light, which is indeed beautiful, highlights the books, 100% go for it. But it looks like a library. Look at this. They all even like soldiers. No, we don't want that. We don't want to do that. We want something more elegant and a little bit more sophisticated. Thus, we look at the right picture, and what do we see there? Books are not organized in order of their height. They are organized, just simply organized. Some of them laying down, some of them taller, some of them smaller than the others. It doesn't matter. What matters, you don't have to overload the shelf and put them like soldiers. They're not soldiers, they're objects. Play with them. Improvise. Do something nice. Look at this. How nicely pots are standing, and they're separating these books. You can just cut the shelf in 2 parts. You can cut it in 3 parts if you want so. Let's move on to the next tip. It became a trend to have earthy colors, environmentally friendly colors, I would say so. Look at these pictures. Fantastic. Doesn't it look like a forest? I would say that left picture is a little bit overloaded, thanks to AI. It been overloaded with that painting in the middle of the room, which is basically just blending with the wall. However, if you look at the general idea, it looks very much welcoming. So earthy colors are considered to be more close to the nature and calming colors. On the left side you can also see some palette of different colors that you can use and apply. Right side also is using the same drapes in a greenish color, earthy color, and also the sofas. I feel like this room is 100% calming and has this effect of chill in it. You may say, and I would agree with you, that it feels a little bit too much. Yeah, it can. Thus, you have to just put the elements of it. Maybe accent wall, maybe just an accent object, like on a sofa you can put some pillows over there, or you can put some plants in the special pots, like the greenish pots or the brownish pots. Well, let's move on to the next tip, and this is a great one actually. I haven't thought about this till some time, and if you look at the following pictures, sharp corners, they play an essential role. Two types of a dining space, one with more of a squared table and a round table. Which one do you feel cozy to sit next to? Well, you can say that, yeah, the square table fits more people, especially if I have a party. Yeah, 100% I do agree with this one. But do you feel safe sitting next to this corner? How often did you hit your toe on a corner of a drawer or something, or of a sofa? It's not only about the table. Rounded objects, they create this safe space. So they create some sort of enclosure, I would even say, that it's kind of, you can get closer to it. You can get closer to the person who is next to you, or just put objects closer to each other, not secluding them. Look at these coffee tables that are coming soon. The squared one looks very much marble and sophisticated, very expensive, posh, but do you feel comfortable hitting your shin all the time on that corner? That might be very much painful. The round one is safer, way more safer in this case. So I'd definitely go for the rounder. So take a look at your design, take a look at your room and think, what can you make differently in this case? Can you put some rounder objects there? That's on you now. That's all the tips I wanted to give you at this moment, so please take a look once again at them. Perhaps you'll find something that suits you at the moment and will help you to make the renovation or transformation of your room of your desire. Alright, I hope you found some useful tips for yourself, so please do rewatch the video if needed, make notes and make your living better. See you next time. Bye bye.